Hello and welcome everyone to another game of World of Warships. Today I'm in the Hatsuharu and I'm probably pronouncing it horribly wrong. I am on the map north in the domination game mode in a tier 7 match. Now, as a destroyer I don't care that much if I'm top tier or not, because it doesn't really change how the game plays. At least that's my personal opinion. I mean, if you're in a battleship, your armor matters and your hit points matter and the range and which you can engage your enemy matters and probably how good the enemy carriers are matters. But as a destroyer, at least as a Japanese destroyer, you don't want to get spotted and mostly you want to launch your torpedoes while the enemy can't see you. Now, Japanese destroyers are not known for their gun performance. The main problem is that the turret traverse is just awful. Now, as a destroyer, you are mostly relying on your speed. You have to dodge incoming fire, and that means changing your course and not driving in a straight line. But your guns just can't keep up. When you turn the ship, you cannot keep your guns pointed at an enemy, which makes using your guns really awkward. Also, you only have 2 of them. Now, I am launching torpedoes. I'm not launching torpedoes at these ships back there because they are out of range, but I'm just blindly launching them because it's highly likely that enemies will drive somewhere here and I don't have a better use for my torpedoes at the moment. Now I am waiting here, I am safe. This island provides cover and nobody can spot me because of this island, unless they push very far inside this cap zone. Now I've almost managed to cap, and my idea was to sit here until I've capped. But their destroyers managed to get here in time, and now they are contesting the point. Now, I've said that the guns suck, but in this situation there is no reason not to shoot. There doesn't seem to be an enemy cruiser here that would... a cruiser could really punish me, because he has accurate guns and a great rate of fire, and I'm just a sitting duck here. But if there are only those destroyers who can shoot at me, I'm willing to take some shots. And it would seem that my friendly here just died. Now I will launch some blind torpedoes. Blind torpedoes, you don't expect them to hit something, but they might scare your enemy. And if you have nothing better to do with your torpedoes, if you don't think that you will need them in the next minute, then you can just launch them like that. And torpedoes aren't the best weapon against enemy destroyers anyway, because they are just too maneuverable. So there is no reason to just keep my torpedoes. I mean, I could have only launched 1 salvo and said I keep the second for an emergency, but so far I feel quite confident here, because there are no enemy cruisers who are engaging me. And those destroyers, they are pretty much doing what I'm doing. They are just contesting this cap and probably hope that reinforcements come here to flush out the enemies. Now I am having reinforcements here. I got a cruiser, and I'm hoping that this cruiser will punish the enemy destroyers. Or I should say these cruisers. Oh no, it's only 1 cruiser who's supporting me. The other one is a destroyer. But it's a US destroyer, and US destroyers have good guns, not so great torpedoes. And can I get a kill here? Yes, I can. Now, so far my torpedoes haven't done much, and I finally managed to capture the base. The other destroyer has chosen to run away, and now I can leave. My job here is done. Now, the enemy has got the point D, so it's highly likely that some enemy ships will come from the D point and push towards us. We do have 2 points. We are in the process of capping the third, although it seems like it's contested and we only have 1 destroyer there, so we probably won't get A. But we have a slight lead. We have 2 points. So far it's looking good. There are a lot of us around B somewhere. So it's probably the best course of action to look at D. Maybe support this other destroyer who is going there. Now, I'm not sure what our battleships are doing. They aren't really pushing at any point. They are just sitting here in the back, probably sniping, and battleships aren't that effective at sniping. They might have a long range, but they don't really have the accuracy. And you always have to remember that shells travel a long time if you shoot them at 20 kilometers. So the enemy can just look at you, and once you shoot, if he is maneuverable enough, he can turn his ship and probably avoid all of your shells with ease. Now, I changed my mind. I'm not following this destroyer because the enemy has been spotted and they are already pushing around here. So I decide that my time is better spent supporting this battleship that has probably engaged those two and launching some torpedoes their way. Now, my torpedo range is 10 kilometers. This guy is almost in range. Of course, you have to consider the way they are going. If they are driving towards you, you can launch them from a bit farther away than 10 kilometers because they might drive into your torpedoes. If they are driving away, then you can't really launch them at max range. So there is also, you always have to keep that in mind. Now, if your torpedoes reach the maximum range, they will just, well, disappear. There are always people who just don't know that, it seems, and they are launching like 5 kilometer torpedoes at like 15 kilometers, and I'm always asking myself if they never read the description or what goes through their mind, or if, well, I mean, the game doesn't really have a torpedo tutorial. Anyway, now since there isn't not much action going on here, maybe let's talk a bit about the spotting mechanics and why I'm not shooting anyone at the moment. Now, if you shoot, you are getting spotted from a lot farther away, and I got a torpedo hit, which is nice. Now, spotting in this game works like this. Every ship has a certain range at which it is detected. Now, for my destroyer here, the range would be 6.7 kilometers. So if I'm inside 6.7 kilometers of an enemy, which I'm right now, but there is an island in the way, he will see me. So I'm not doing a great job because I'm a bit too close. Once he comes around this island, he should spot me. I am driving a little bit away now, but yeah. So not so great on my part. Although I have camo, which means it's a bit less than 6.7 kilometers right now. But since I have been spotted, I might as well take a shot at the enemy. Now I should probably stop shooting now, since I'm far enough away, but he isn't paying any attention to me. And as long as his guns aren't pointed my way, you know, might just take a shot. Hey, got another torpedo hit. Now, back to the detection. I'm always talking about destroyers and spotting. It's not like destroyers have a better vision range. If I'm at the same place as like my battleship here, I'm not seeing anything different than he does. But because the enemy has to get inside 6.7 kilometers of me to see me, I can get a lot closer to the enemies. So basically what you want your destroyers to do in a lot of maps is drive ahead of the friendly fleet and get close enough to see the enemies. And since you are so sneaky, they won't see you. If they have obviously someone spotting you, like an enemy destroyer, you can still pop smoke and run away. But you should never underestimate the power of seeing exactly where the enemy is and what he does. Also, if you spot the enemies early on, they might just still be driving carelessly, exposing their broadside, and you might give your ships a chance to open up with some devastating strikes. Now, I'm turning around here. That cruiser was already outside of my range, there was no purpose in pursuing him, and my battleships just did the rest. Now, there's still a big cluster of battleships here, and they really should have pushed towards a point earlier on. I mean, they've been sitting too far in the back for way too long, in my opinion. Now, as you can see, all the supporting ships who have actually engaged the enemy and done the jobs of the battleships are dead by now, because the battleships just refuse to do anything but sit in the back and snipe. Now, we are behind right now. We only control C, and we are behind in points as well. So I'm now pushing towards B. There are two enemies there, but I have to make something. D is too far away. Also, if you kill an enemy, you get points and the enemy loses points. So we need to capture a zone and we need to kill something or to win this. Also, I can't really abandon my battleships here. I'm needed in order to spot this destroyer, for example, and prevent him from sinking my battleships. I'm not confident in their ability. They are driving farther away from the objective in a time where we really need an objective. And this destroyer is dead, which is great news. It's great news because it makes my battleships a lot safer and it means nobody is spotting me anymore. Now, yeah, I'm not detected anymore. When you shoot, you are detected at a long range for I think about 20 seconds. So once you fire your guns, it takes quite some time until you are back to your normal detection range. Now I need to get into this point. I can't just drive here and spot them, because as you can see, my battleships, they are even driving farther away from the objective. If you just have to take one look and realize that this is a losing play. I don't know what they are thinking. I mean, there are enemies too that are driving down there, but I mean, they only have to kite our ships. If those two can make our 3 battleships drive into this corner, that's a winning play for the enemy. If they keep them away from our points, then they have nothing to fear. I mean, the enemy is very close to win. Now I'm getting close here. My only way of sinking this battleship is by hitting him with a torpedo salvo, and the closer I am, the higher the chances of that. The time of caution has long passed. If I can't make something happen here, we've already lost. And now he's screwed. He can't really turn. There are islands in the way. He is... well, his ship doesn't turn very fast, and he's moving at a slow speed. He was doomed. His only chance was to kill me before I can do something like that. Now this cruiser is still very close to me. I have turned around. I'm getting farther away from this Atlanta back there. And I'm hoping to... I was hoping I might use this island for some cover. But someone killed this cruiser, which is pretty nice. So at least one of the battleships supported me, even though they still aren't driving for a capture point, and we still are behind. Now, this battleship over there, he is going for D. Capping D is great, because if we have more capture points, we might still have a chance. Also, those battleships down there, they've sunk an enemy, which more or less equalized our points. Now, if we can capture B and D, we might still win this. Now I'm detected here, and this little plane here shows that I'm detected by a plane. Now this is a catapult fighter launched from the that cruiser, but the plane sticks around, and you wouldn't imagine how often something like this happens to me. Oh, and I managed to somehow get a little stuck here, and I decide then I just sit here and don't move, because I'm far enough inside here to cap, and I'm using this island as cover, hopefully from the Atlanta, and this plane just continues to spot me. If this plane wasn't there, I'd be completely safe here, and I finally managed to shoot him down. But there is the spotting plane of that battleship that's still around. I have died way too often in destroyers due to like simply a catapult fighter that kept spotting me. Can be really frustrating at times. Now I have managed to take B, and our battleship will soon manage to take D, but it's still pretty close. If I die, we will probably lose, and if this Atlanta dies, they will lose. Now I managed to score a hit. The Atlanta is at 400 HP. But the Atlanta has an insane rate of fire. Quite a few guns. So one good hit from the Atlanta could probably obliterate me. And even with his 400 health, you can see how slow my turrets turn. I'm not the ship that wants to be engaged in a gunfight. And this is not the time to risk it. This Atlanta really should have pushed towards me and tried to kill me, because if he manages to kill me, they'll win. And if he doesn't manage to kill me, they'll lose anyway. Now we have 3 zones, we're getting more points, and they aren't in a position to kill any one of us right now. So this was a victory. I hope you enjoyed the game, and I see you guys next time.